So I need to make a door that goes from my underground tunnel into my secret garage. Oh, yes! Now, I want this door to be a bit of a statement piece, because if you think about it, a door is the first thing that you interact with a building, and a door says a lot about a building. There is various types of doors in the town I live in of Stamford, and you often look at some of them and think, oh, I wonder what the room's like behind that door. That's exactly what I'm thinking with this door. This is the door to my secret garage. It has got to be absolutely mega. Now, not only that, I need one for building regs, because it is a garage, it has to have a door on it. So, I want to build a door which is worthy of this project. Now I think this door wants wheels, it wants turny things, cogs, mechanisms, you name it. But I'm not sure how I'm going to set all that out yet, so I think I need to get myself a door-shaped template, and that is where this project starts. Yes, I've cut myself a slither of plywood, wedged it down the hole, and then pulled it up against the garage door, and of course got a wonderful little Sharpie, drew round the curve, got myself an outline, pulled it back up again, sawed it out. I got myself a door template. Lovely job, Colin, but never mind this. Check this out. I've managed to spurn this off a valve. Now, obviously not going to keep it blue, but this is going to be our turny wheel. That is going to sit on the centre of our door. And I've got these spur gears. These are going to be set up like this. Yes. The big wheel will turn the centre cog. A small cog turning a big cog, which will turn a small cog under there, which will turn another big cog. So the whole thing will step down, elevating the torque and making them move real slow. Now, before we can set this up, we need to machine the centres out. We also need to get rid of these little hubs off a couple of them. So, bit of lathe time. Now, I'm not the greatest machinist by a long shot. But of course, I'm the type of person that'll have a go at anything, you learn by your mistakes, and you get better over time. Okay, that's bored that out nicely. Now, I've got another 4 of these to do, but they need this collar taken off. But of course, we've been using that to clamp it in the lathe. Now, if I try and clamp the teeth, because it's an uneven surface, an uneven amount of teeth that doesn't fit with a free-draw chuck, it doesn't clamp it properly, and the whole thing wobbles around. Now, the lathe can deal with that. It's not great for the tip, because it just keeps smashing into it. So, I've got an idea. I've put a bit of shaft in my bandsaw, and I've slid this over it, held it with a pair of grips, and chopped off the bulk of this collar in one piece, so we're only left with a tiny sliver. Then when we put that back in the lathe, it still wobbles around, but because we're just shaving a little bit off the surface, it's a lot better, it's a lot easier on the tools, and then voila, we have a lovely gear without the collar on. Right. Yeah. Okay, we have our cogs nicely laid out. Now, the positioning of these pins, of course, is critical because too close together and the teeth won't mesh, and too far apart and there'll be a lot of play. So we need to mark them up and make a blooming good job of it. So I've used what's called an optical punch. Now, I mark the steel with like a pocket knife or something like that, put some little scratches on, and then an optical punch has 2 bits. I have this little glass bit, which has got like a little crosshair and a magnifier in. You look through that, line it up with your cross on your metal, and then you take that out, add the metal bit in, which has got the point on the end, whack it with a hammer, bang, you've got a perfect punch mark. It's dead in the centre of where you want it to be. Then, of course, you drill it, thread it, tap it, do all the other bits, and put it in. Lovely. Also, it's very useful for having a look like your finger if you've got a splinter in to see how it's gone in and which way you need to pick it out. But anyway, I digress. Right, we've got our cogs. These are all spinning round lovely. But of course we've got an issue because this top one is not connected to the bottom one. Now I'm going to make a jig to stitch these together. But in the meantime, you guys are going to be treated to one of my fantastic sponsor segments. Oh, that must be them. Hello. It's Surfshark, one of my long-time sponsors. You're ringing me up to tell me that now, more than ever, people need VPN. I've told them loads of times. So, a VPN is a service that protects you online and can alter your internet location. Yes, I've told them that one account will cover all family members and unlimited devices. Yes, and smart TVs. That one's actually pretty handy because then you can watch other regions' Netflix. Yeah, I'll tell them it works abroad as well. Basically, if you've gone on holiday when there's a Formula 1 race on and you're worried you can't watch it, take your laptop, then you can log in to your person that you normally watch it with, tell the internet you're still at home, and it won't know any different. Oh no, he's brilliant! Public Wi-Fi, you said. So, when you're in a cafe and you're all on the same internet connection, basically sneaky people can access your device via that shared Wi-Fi. Not with Surfshark. What are you doing? Yeah. Yes, of course I'll tell them there's an offer in the description using my code. And of course, if you're going to get a VPN, get Surfshark, because they let me do stupid things like this. It's brilliant. Thank you very much for your phone call. Shark! Right, back to the project and the gears. There we are, got that fixed on there. 2 bolts in the back. Basically made this little bracket thing. Screwed the pin in the centre one, slid that through the cog, put it in the pillar drill. Use this as a guide to drill the holes, countersink for the Allen key heads, and then of course thread, tap them, join them together. Boom. Right, now that slides over there nicely. Right, that's all good. So now we need to attach the wheel to it to turn it, which means we'll have to have a shaft attached to this centre cog which goes through, but there is a complication. I don't want anything that goes all the way through because it will stick into the garage, so it's kind of got to be held in place by probably a top cover over the top of this. I'll sort it out and I'll let you know after. Yes, I've got it. First off, we need to sort out how we're going to attach the wheel, because it's got a square in it, but it's not very square. Look, it's a bit manky. So I took it to the barn, whacked it in the big lathe, shaved the face of the hub down, and then shaved a little bit of a recess on it so I could grab it. So I turned it round, got the boring bar, and turned a nice hole through it so I can slip it over a shaft. It's a beautiful idea, Colin. And oh look, what a beautiful job you've made of it. I then machined the shaft which this wheel would attach to, and then got another shaft, slid through it, so when I put it onto this cog, I can TIG weld it on, mind the bright light, and it keeps it all nice and concentric. Beautiful. Then I knocked the time machine over. Oh, bust me DeLorean. I drilled 2 thread holes through the side of the wheel to add grub screws. I then slid it over a fixed shaft onto a little roller bearing at the bottom. Give it a spin. Lovely. Right, Colin, what is this going to do and what is going to happen next? Let's go and put it down on the door. Oh, this is heavy. I'm not... I do have a habit of making everything stupidly heavy. We're going to need the teleangler to drop this thing in the room when it's finished. Okay, now there has been a lot of thinking and a lot of messing around since I put that down on the floor there. We have got many iterations of gears turning, things coming together, racks which go from side to side, but they all had little problems and I didn't like any of them. But oh, have I come up with a solution. And it is this. Yeah, check this out. We've got this giant ring gear that will be connected to the cogs up here by 2 little cogs or whatever that go in there. I don't have them yet. Now then, what will happen is we will turn this little triangle looking thing here. What, you mean like a safety tie triangle warning logo, like one of my logos? Yes, Colin, exactly like that. Might even put a little safety tie emblem in the middle, but the only reason I might not is because when we turn it, look, bum 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 bum. Oh, it turns into a flux capacitor. Yes, the thing which makes time travel possible. Of course, this is the door to a garage which is going to house a DeLorean. So why wouldn't you have a flux capacitor on the door? Ooh, brilliant, Colin. I have excelled myself. And then what this does is it turns this little cam thing. So if we go back up here, look, oh, look at that. I mean, that is just so cool, isn't it? This will turn round. And then this will push on like a little cam or something down here, which will then flick up and open the door and release all the locks and stuff. Beautiful! That is good. Now, before I make this, I'm going to knock up a door frame to make sure that nothing fails on it, and then we can get on with it. And oh yes! So happy! So happy! Bottom and side sorted, but the top slightly trickier. So the problem I've got here, this is 50mm box section because it matches everything else, but this is 40. And the reason why that's 40 is I can't bend 50 that tight without it deforming. So I need to think of a different way of doing that. A template, you say? I've got one, calm down. So, I clamped it onto my door frame, and then I laid it down, marked the curve on the box section, and then I can cut this bit off. while I was cutting this, I had an idea. I can't bend 50 by 50 box section because it creases up, but maybe I can bend two 50 by 25mm box sections. Fantastic idea, Colin. Got the swag roller out, set myself to work.
So true, because these words about you too. Do not resent.
There we go, look at that. No deformation, and it fits in a tree. It's got it clamped up, welded in, slip rolled a second one, and then spooned it nicely up against the first one. There we have it. Then, once clamped up and welded in, to cover up the join in between the two bits, I can add like a little vanity panel that can go over the top. Right, let's take it down and see if it fits in the hole. That's in. Happy with that? Flux wheel next. Now, the most trickiest part of building this, of course, is the ring gear, this big ring cog that goes around the outside. You're not going to order that from anyone. It is completely bespoke to this design. So how am I going to make this? Well, I've got two options. I've got two home-sized machines that we're going to pit against each other to see which one wins. First up, we've got my mini Swift Cut CNC plasma cutter. Very nice, Colin. Now, next up, we've got the Wazer Pro Waterjet Cutter. Now, with a cutting bed of 350 by 450, this machine will pretty much cut through anything as long as you don't mind it getting wet. And with that cut finished, it's now time to compare the two. Okay, both machines have done a fantastic job. Now, the Wazer, or the Wazer, as I like to call it, is clearly more sharper. It's got more defined teeth. The plasma cutter, considering it's a plasma cutter, has done a brilliant job. They are a little bit more rounded. Both mesh into the cog really well, which is great news, but there is something else to consider. The Swift cut this out in 20 seconds. The Wazer, 12 minutes. So there is a little bit of a time difference there, but also I tried a bit of nylon. Now, this bit of nylon is 12mm thick. These are only 4mm thick. It did this in 8 minutes. So we're getting there, but there is a third option. The laser cutter. Now, this won't cut steel and it won't cut nylon. What it does cut really well, of course, is acrylic, but that's really brittle, so that's no good. But I found another material. Acetal or Derylin. Now, this stuff is quite hard wearing. It's not brittle, it's quite flexible. Should make good teeth, I would have thought, if they're not under that much stress. So I've had a go, and it's made a lovely job of it. Doesn't take as long as the Wazer, and is slightly better quality than the Swifty. Oh, we'll go for this.
I'll tell you what, it's better than I can turn ahead. Disappointment, I'm out here every frequent. I'll tell you, man, it's better than I can turn ahead. Head. I'll tell you what, it's better than I can turn ahead. Head. I'll tell you, man, it's better than I can turn ahead. Just remember, there can be one.
Okay, this is looking very promising, very smooth. I like it. Now, a few things. I've had to shave a little bit off this gear here so it tucks into the rims of this and then onto the cogs. I took it out of the barn. Don't know what these are made of. Blooming hard. Sparks flying everywhere. Very nice on camera. Anyway, the other thing is the centres I put for these weren't quite right. Don't know what I've done there, miscalculated. But anyway, it highlighted another issue. Because I've got two cogs going onto the one cog, the centres aren't necessarily the only thing you have to think of. You have to think about if the teeth are going to mesh in the right place. Because they're sort of all locked in a little bit, so you can't just turn this willy-nilly until it locks in, because it's connected to that, and they're all connected together. So I might actually drill the centres of them in position when it's on the steel backplate. Right. This is all very good, and of course it was all tightened down with a Colin Furze 10mm spanner. These will be back available hopefully soon, so keep an eye on the colinfurzeshop.com. Right, triangle flux capacitor. I'm never going to tire of doing this. Quick, Marty, get the DeLorean! Brilliant. Now, bearings, what this whole thing is running on, Simply Bearings, well, a website where I get them from, must think I've gone crazy. I've literally been putting an order in every day for something different as I change my mind. But essentially, on these centre little bits here, there's like some little sunken thrust bearings which it sits on, so that gives it a nice solid seat. In here is just some normal bearings which run up and down the slot nicely, and then these ones up here have little bronze bushings in them, so they'll slide nicely on that. Now, this is all very good, but what's it going to do down the bottom here, Colin? The last bit! So, my original plan was to use like this cam system, so as it turns round, this cam would push something down and unlock the door. But I don't like it, because obviously when it's locked, this would sit over here, would cover this part of the circle, and I'm just not too keen on that. So I've been messing around with some of the other bits of levers and the cogs of how we can kind of use a bit like a piston, with like a con rod that pushes down some levers, which then pushes up the other side, and which would unlock the door. Now there's a couple of issues with slots flapping around and other pivot points and stuff, but I think I like that idea better. Now, I've already started making metal version of this, but I've got an issue. Because this is all sat on a piece of plywood, everything is 5.5mm higher than what it will be when it's sat in the door. And this is going to cause issues because all these little components coming off here have to line up with the centre line of the locking pins. I think mistakes are going to be made. So I say we plasma cut out the big sheet of metal, get it fixed to the back of the door, and then we can start screwing all this on permanently and get it set out properly. Now, we've all heard of the phrase measure twice, cut once, and this applies to this. I don't want to go ruin a massive sheet of steel, so I've made a wooden template first. Stick the door on it. I've got some little laser cut lines I can line all the edges up with. Beautiful. Now, although the curve is a perfect curve, one side of the door sits ever so slightly higher. So I've put these little lines down, which I can measure up to, apply that to the CAD, and make sure it's in the perfect position. Okay, everything's where it should be, or where I thought it was going to be. So now let's make this wood metal. Now this is too big for my little Swifty, so it's up the barn to use the Swift Cut Pro, which can take a full-size sheet. Okay, I'm going to let you into a little secret. I'd forgot my original plan. Not actually mounting all the gears and everything to this back sheet. No, there is kind of an inner frame, which was what the plywood was mimicking, so it is all the right height. And that is this. Yes, so this 6mm plate goes inside the frame and everything screws to it. Now, the plasma cutter up the farm does these little centre punch things, so it punches a little hole so you know where to drill your holes to fix everything to. It'd be nice if I had some footage of that, but I've lost it. I don't know where it is. I think it's in the same place as my right-handed glove. But anyway, I digress. Now, as you can see, there's a nice little nuclear sign in this, because I don't know if you remember the DeLorean was nuclear powered. 1.21 gigawatt! Right, let's put that in there. Stop messing around, Colin. Come on, this video's getting too long. You're just constant nonsense.
Windows open up and let the secrets of my world delude. Big cross with OG inside the center with a greater you.
Yes, I don't think it was that funny the first time, Colin. Now, before I put the gears on properly, I've cut these little vinyl discs out, so when the metal gears go up against the metal, they don't grind against each other. And now we can get this thing fully set up, fully assembled, all the bearings in place, all the cogs in place. Beautiful!
Now this thing is fixed to steel, it is working even better than what it did before. It's very tight, there's very little backlash. I am very pleased with this. I've made these bottom arms out of steel. Any problems I thought I was going to have with them have disappeared. It is all working very smoothly. In fact, in general, I am very pleased with the direction this is going in at the moment, as you can imagine. Now, of course, the last job is when these arms go up, they're going to push these pins out. So I've mag drilled some holes through the side. That was a bit of a pain because the mag drill bit was too small. I had to make an extension. These are the problems we have to get over. Now then, this last little connecting bit is a job for the mill. Let's get on that. Now, to get these pins to slide in and out from the door into the wall, I've put a little slot in the end there. And I've got this little bit of metal, and that will slide up in the end. And then as it's pushed up, it will slide down it and push it through the wall. Now, it's quite hard to demo when it's in my hand, like that. Now, to stop it from all being loose, there's a little bearing in the end there on a spring. That keeps it all nice and tight. But of course, it means we have to put a slot in it. And for slots, we need a mill. Now, I've had this mill in this shed now for over a year, and this is the first project I've properly come to use it. Now, I really like this mill. Beforehand, I had a small mill. It was absolute rubbish, couldn't do anything. So I've been looking for a decent mid-sized small mill for ages, and this is the one. It's Optimum, which is a German make. It's been sold to me by XL Tools, and they're great because they do not only the mill, they do all the bits, the collets, the end mills, and everything that comes with it. It is fantastic, really solid. It's got a DRO, so if you want to get into machining, this is a fantastic mill to have.
As fantastic as it is, Colin, you've got a lot of milling to do. You better get on with it.
The little stairs that we had passed, turning down when we go
Okay, mechanically this is about done and I think it's looking fantastic. Now, I've got to put a back plate on it and then a little outer frame and then obviously make some hinges, but I'm a little concerned. This thing is really heavy at the minute. I can barely lift it. So I think what we'll do, we'll move it down into the garage and then we'll add all that extra weight on in the garage where it doesn't really matter. What's a lovely idea.
So we got the JCB, attached it to the winch, lowered it up. No, you lower it down, Colin. Yeah, steadily lowered it down into the room, wiggled it into place, and then got to work on adding a little bit of extra jazz. Then it's time to add the back plate, add the perimeter plate, mag drill some holes, countersink some riv nuts, squeeze them in, tighten the bolts up. I'd say it's done. It's brilliant. The brass bolts, the shiny bits, the details. Yes, it looks plain as anything from the garage side, but it's not about that. It's about how it works, the mechanism, the action of it all. And I will never tire of seeing this thing work. And there's one little extra surprise. When it goes from the triangle to the flux capacitor, boom! It's got lights! You made a good job of that, Colin. Now I think this sets the standard of what this room has to match. The lighting in here, the car lift, everything kind of has to live up to this now, the door, the first thing you see. Now, a couple of little things. I've had to make 3 bespoke hinges because I reckon this thing weighs north of about 200 kilos. To get it off the workbenches, I had to rig up a winch, and then to actually put it into position, me and Rick had to commandeer 2 workmen from across the road to help us wrestle it into position, because if it started to fall over, there's no way you were going to stop it. It would just flatten you. It is so heavy. Also, the window, I was thinking, where am I going to get a bespoke round bit of glass from? And I thought, Colin, you have a Wazer water jet cutter. It sliced through that like butter. 1 minute and 30 seconds it did to cut that out. Brilliant. Now, I want your opinion on this. The blue handle. Now, I've left it blue because I actually quite like it. I was going to take all the paint off and have it bare metal, potentially brass plate it, but I was looking at it thinking it would just disappear if it was the same colour as everything else. So, do I just repaint it because it's a bit chipped at the moment, leave it blue, or is there another option? Let me know in the comments. And then I know what some of you are thinking. Colin, how did you do them LED lights in the flux capacitor? Like a car, the door is the earth or the negative, and then in here, just take this off. Oh, by the way, Colin Firth 10mm spanners are back in stock. These will sell out quick, so get them while you can. 3 9-volt batteries in here with the positives all daisy chained to little screws which stick out of this plastic shell. And then there's these little brass pins which stick out here, which are connected to the positive on the LED. They obviously come down, hit the screws, make the circuit, boom, it comes on. Now the trick is, these brass pins are sprung slightly. So as they come down, they don't just hit it and lock off, they can kind of give a little bit of give. So when all 3 of them come down, they definitely all contact and you don't get like 2 working and not the other one. Quite pleased with that. And then of course, as this is a garage for a DeLorean, my channel members named this a DoorLorean. Absolutely fantastic. Now, I've put voltage 1.21 or 1.21 gigawatts. Not gigawatts is what it's probably supposed to be, but in the film, Doc definitely says gigawatts. Well, I very much enjoyed this project. Now, if you want to get into doing things like this, I'll put a load of links in the description for some of the tools I've used. These are all kind of like household size tools, or certainly the ones in here anyway. So if you want to get into it, it's a great hobby. Go and check the links out, and some other YouTube channels you might want to check out. Inheritance Machining, This Old Tony, Blondie Hacks. They're a lot better at doing it than me. I'm a bit more agricultural, but you can learn a lot. It's all there. Now, if you want to see other people make tunnel doors, there's a guy called Tunnel Dave who's also made a door for his tunnel. It's a bit smaller. His tunnel's different to mine. It's like a Great Escape tunnel, but it's all still cool. Gears and cogs and chains, you name it. I'll put a link into that down the bottom. Oh, and also, as it is the summer, or barely, there is a new First Mining Company lighter t-shirt now available on the colinfirthshop.com. You can get them with your spanners. Yes, subscribe people. This is what I do. The garage project, it is ongoing, but it's doing good. I'm happy. See you in a bit.